Good morning, Modern Steaders.
Good morning. A little bit of snow on the ground.
Yes, we're supposed to be getting our first real snowstorm today. We're going to be ending up saying anywhere from 4 to 10 inches of snow. I'm hoping for 4 or less.
You don't want 10?
Now, if we get much more than 4, I'll have to put the plow on the truck and do some plowing. I should probably get the plow on the truck for the first time this season and check everything over. But it's going to be magical to see how the off-grid property looks with snowfall falling on it. You ladies hungry? Come on. It's nice to see your feathers growing back.
Good morning. Good morning.
I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is an online learning community with 1,000 inspiring classes for creatives. Right now I've been taking the course Learn Solar by Alex. I'm not going to say his last name because I'm going to botch it. But it's been a really great class. What I really like about the class is he dives in right from the beginning about solar panels, how solar panels work, all the different solar panels out there, and there is a lot of stuff in this class, and it goes all the way into batteries, into storage, from your solar array, from everything about if you're going to hire an installer, what to look for. It's a really good class, and I'm glad I took it with all the solar projects we've been doing. It gave me a base of knowledge. But Skillshare has more than just solar classes. They have a list of classes. They go on and on and on. Gina's taken quite a few on cooking. Olivia's used it for music. Gina's taking some right now for Christmas decorations. There's a ton of stuff, and they've never disappointed us when we've gone on there looking for courses. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. And right now, Skillshare is offering a 1-month free trial for the first 1,000 of our subscribers to click the link in the video description down below. Thanks Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to the build. So we've decided on what we're going to do for windows on this side of the tiny house. So we got our lower walls built. We need to get our spacing figured out so it all looks nicey nice today. And we have even spacing for the 6 different windows. But first I need to get all of our anchor bolts drilled and installed so we'll suck this lower wall down in place where it's going to be. And then we can move on to the next step. She needed her own leaf blower after she used Ken's.
So I went ahead and ordered 6 windows, 2 for each bay, 14 to 16 weeks. So we're looking at March or April. So we are going to end up having to zip board this all up, but it looks really nice like this. But in order to get our insulation and get it ready for what we want to use this room for, we have to cover it up.
But the windows will be here just in time for seed starting season.
That's right. That's right. And we knew it was going to take a while just because everything. Plus, I mean, we ordered our other windows a long time ago and we still don't have them. The end.
Trying to evenly space all these windows and working with our 6x6 posts makes it a little bit of a challenge, but we got to figure it out. We have a little bit more space in between each window than we would want, but the 6x6s limit us of how we can kind of place everything. And we're doing 2 windows next to each other instead of ordering 1 big window for each of the areas, because it's like half the price of going with 2 windows versus 1 big one. Once you start getting into the big size windows, they get pretty pricey, so that's why we're doing it this way. The house we have now, we did the same thing. In this house, any of the windows that are next to each other, that's why we're doing 2 side-by-side windows instead of 1 big bay window, because it adds a lot on. Right now we're trying to decide, do we want to go with a flat ceiling in this area like we did on the powerhouse and bathroom, or do we want to go with a slanted ceiling? If we went with a slanted ceiling, we'd go from this header down to the rafter tails of the main roof line. I'm going to take a measurement and see how long those rafters would have to be. Hold on to them. Yeah, so just over 10 feet, unfortunately. Maybe we can try it, maybe we can get it.
Since we'll be living in here for a while, having a sun porch might be really awesome. And our winters are really long, so having extra sun on the long winter days, I think that's going to be really cool. So we're trying to also figure out if we're going to put a doorway, because we weren't going to, between the area. This is just going to be separate. But as we keep doing things and having different thoughts and different ideas come through, we're trying to just figure out exactly what we want and how we want to do it. This is a really exciting, it also gets a little nerve-wracking because once you put a hole in a wall or do something, it's kind of there.
It's kind of funny, this time last year, we were walking around the raw land that was all wooded and trying to figure out where to put the house, the position, and what we thought or where we thought would have the best solar access to the cells so we could get good sunlight to charge our solar panels. I'm just looking out the window where there will be a window, and I see there's what used to be red tape on that maple tree marking out one of the spots to clear to. It's just funny to think that this time last year this was all woods. Pretty cool.
He's getting the boards up so we see where the windows are going to be, but basically that's where they're going to be because he doesn't change his mind once he does it. So they're going to look fantastic, I'm sure. Right, babe? Once you do it, you do it.
That's right. Perfect.
I think it's gonna look really, really nice. Al, I don't like it. Can you take that down?
Nope.
Come on.
It'll look a little bit more symmetrical once we have all of the zip board up. The 6x6s being in kind of throw it off because they're not all just regular 2x6s. And then I'm not going and making all of my lower framing exactly line up because we don't need to. We have a header all the way across, so that's going to get all of the support. This wall is not supporting anything because we have that header in. This is just to hold the sheathing and insulation. So it's all right that we don't have a 2x6 going down here or right there because we're not going to be having any pressure on them. If I keep putting more 2x6s in, which I could, it's just going to take out more insulation. I'd rather have, or it's going to take out more, yeah, it's going to take out more insulation and we'll have less in the wall. And I'd rather have more insulation in the wall. So this is how we're going to leave it. I don't think right now is a good time to sheathe it because we are going to get dripped on and soaked. And just like that, it is winter now. We got our first real snowstorm overnight. We got about 4 inches. And it's stuck, guys. So I am glad the shell of the tiny house is all done. It's watertight. We're in good shape. We just need to finish closing in this right side, which will be our greenhouse. But it's cold out this morning. It's about 14 degrees out. And over there, we have our outdoor wood boiler that's not hooked up yet, but sitting in the yard. I wish that was going, and I wish we had heat. But not yet. Soon. Earlier, we were talking about going with either a slanted ceiling or a straight ceiling in here. We have a whole bunch of, I shouldn't say a whole bunch, we got some leftover 2x6s that are 10 feet long here that were left over from the build. And we counted and we have just enough to do all of the interior walls that we need to build for our hallway and then for our pantry. So we were going to have to go out and buy 13 to do our ceiling joists out here. to do a flat roof, so we figured if we bought a 12-foot long one, we could do a slanted ceiling, and it would just give it a different look over here on the sunroom side. So we went and we picked up some 2x6s by 12 feet long. I got to figure out the angle, and then we can get our ceiling joists in, and we'll have a slanted ceiling out here. It'll be a little bit different, add some more look to it, some more depth. So the bathroom and the powerhouse are going to have an 8-foot tall ceiling that's flat. The main part of the downstairs of the tiny house has a 10-foot ceiling. There's 2 reasons why we went with a 10-foot ceiling. I've been seeing that question quite a bit. One of the reasons is it was able to give us the roof lined design look that we were going for. Going with a higher wall here, we're able to get that nice look. The house we're in now, when we built it, we did scissor trusses, so it's like a 2-piece truss. There's the high part that your metal roof is on, and then on the inside, in the living area, there's another piece of truss underneath it, so you get like a fake cathedral ceiling. And we like the high ceiling, so we were afraid if we went with an 8-foot ceiling in the kitchen and living room, it would feel a little claustrophobic to us. That's why that's another reason why we went with a 10-foot ceiling. I feel like we're making good progress on getting the tiny house closed up before spray foam. We still have about 5 more days, including today. So that should give us enough time to get this room finished and then get all the walls taped. And we might have a few days left over where we can jump onto our solar. I would jump onto our solar now, but we need to get this part of the tiny house prepped and ready for installation before we can do the solar. So we'll get back on that in a little bit. Figuring out the first one is always the fun part. Once you get the first cut figured out, it'll go pretty easy. If you're better at math and geometry, you could probably figure out what degree cut you needed to make here, but that's not my strong suit. I go up, I put the board where I need it, and then I trace it with a pencil, then we get our mark. I'm gonna make one template. I'll try it, make sure it fits, and then we will go ahead and we will cut the rest of them all at once and just knock it out. Sits nicely up against the side of the house, sits on our plywood, and then we'll nail it to our main rafter. I'll just have to go around afterwards and notch that off, or if we strap the ceiling, the strapping will probably bring that down below, but we can do that later on. All right, then our rafter tail sits nice and flush down this end, and it ends right there nice and even.
Whacked in the head. Pretty soon I'll be up on the roof.
Pretty soon you will be. You'll be putting the standing seam roof on.
Never.
Oh yeah. Come springtime, you'll be up there.
Yeah, right.
I see it now.
Yeah.
No safety harness or anything. You'll be walking around.
Just like nothing.
Just like nothing. Like
I can
Spider.
see
Like
I can
Spider
see it
Woman.
too.
Like Spider Woman.
Never.
Never say never.
I have some cod here. I have a skillet with oil warming up over there. This is some sriracha sauce, trying something a little different. So sriracha sauce, but I'm not going too heavy on it because we don't like a lot of spice. And then I have 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. And then I'm going to put about a tablespoon of honey here. Mix it up and see what I think. Smells good. Let me do a little taste test. Yeah. I need some more honey, I would say. It's a little bit spicy. I'm gonna put a little bit more honey. Hopefully it cuts down the spice a little. Woo. So, I don't know what the word would be, but we are not very good with heat. But I do like sriracha, but just a little bit, so I might have got carried away. Much better. Okay, so I'm gonna use this for my glaze. Get my fillets in here. Now I'm gonna pop these in the oven with the rest of everything else. It's at 425 and keep an eye on it so it gets up to the right temperature. And once it's cooked, everything should be ready to eat.
Dear Lord, thank you for the wonderful day.